2 years into the restoration project, the team of experts face more challenges. How to restore 200-year-old silk embroideries, of which less than 1/3 remains. And how to remount the previously restored murals onto their original walls and ceilings. In the spring of 2006, the restoration team begins its most challenging task to date. Of the original 260 pieces of double-sided embroidery and the scores of cushions made with fine cloud brocade and suzhou embroidery, less than 1/3 have survived. Those that didn't survive need to be replaced. But, of course, there are no originals to base the replicas on. In restoration terms, the team are now treading untrodden ground. Yuan Hongxi has been in fabric conservation for more than 20 years. She is now in charge of restoring the textiles.
大家都是第一次摸索嘛，来美国基金会他们的专家也是第一次摸索，我们也是第一次。当时自己心里没有这个底，不知道多长时间能找到。
China has a long history of craftsmanship, but it wanted to work with the World Monuments Fund because it wanted to really understand what the latest international standards and approaches were for conservation projects that were this complicated.
Before starting work on the restoration, the embroiderers were invited to the palace to inspect the remaining original pieces personally. Restoring a double-sided embroidery puts embroiderer Chen Yinghua under a lot of pressure. The Forbidden City archives and a handful of old photos are the only references available, and descriptions of the embroidery are limited. So the restoration team needs to find a group of embroiderers who are familiar with old embroidery techniques. In Nanjing, they find Zhang Kaicheng, an expert in making cloud brocade.
我们家是祖传的银井世家，到我这一代呢，已经有9代。
Cloud brocade differs from other forms of embroidery. It forms a 3-dimensional texture. This, plus its astonishing range of colors, lends the embroidery a feeling like clouds floating in the sky. Zhang and his staff were thrilled to be involved in the restoration.
对吧？图案的设计，这个画本已经在上面了，在电脑软件上已经在上面了。上面人提起来，我们可以在底下按照不同的颜色，可以根据这画形就可以配色制造。像紧箍就都要是上面线条都要，我们上下都要配合协调好，不然就会错动的。
They have to be millimeter accurate. A mistake on just one thread can ruin the entire piece.
这道画线，哦，这个走完了，这个走完了，搞得不对了，别搞得不对了。
Because cloud brocade is such a complex craft, each piece takes a long time to make. Chenrun Shan can finish 8 to 10 centimeters a day, but this is far more than the best craftsmen in days gone by. Back in the Forbidden City, restoration expert Yuan Hongxi is inspecting the samples of cloud brocade sent from Nanjing. By 2006, 3 of the 4 types of cloud brocade had been successfully replicated. However, the remaining golden velvet style is proving more difficult to reproduce.
这种金彩绒呢，在我们国家失传了100多年，没有这种技术了，也没有这个机器了，这是故宫里头唯一的一块呢一级品的这个金彩绒。
Relying on pictures from an old reference book, Jiang Kai-cheng and his engineers begin a bold experiment. They intend to build a golden velvet loom entirely from scratch. The embroidered cushions for the throne are the next items on the restoration team's list, and this time the team's travels takes them south. It was here, in the city of Suzhou, that Emperor Qianlong ordered the finest skills for his palace. This is where the team will find its answers.
叫郭文祥，今年呢是78岁了，但是做刺绣呢已经做了60多年了。14岁开始到现在呢，一直没有离开过刺绣。那时候是跟我妈妈学的，我妈妈呢也是跟我外婆学的，反正总是一代一代的传下来的。我在这里。
Gu Wenxia's skill has attracted visits from many famous people over the years, including King Sihanouk from Cambodia and US President Jimmy Carter. The most treasured photo, however, is this one, a photo taken of her with Chairman Mao. The regional culture is woven into the embroidery they produce. The designs are taken from fishermen's tattoos. This is where the art of embroidery began to be passed down through the generations. Gu Wenxia is now passing on her skills to her son and daughter-in-law, who help out in the workshop. But it's crunch time. Are they going to be able to reproduce the same kind of embroidery used by Qianlong? They only have photos for reference, but even with these, it's hard to see the details very clearly.
是的，是的，它本来就是两。
这第一部分的难度就在于，它这个是几百年前的文物，现在已经是保存在故宫里面，它不让带出宫的，就增加了一个难度，我们不能看实样来做的。
Trying their best to recreate the original designs, Gu's son and daughter-in-law first draw the pattern on paper, then transfer it to silk. Finally, they begin to embroider.
我和徐老师呢，主要就是负责把白描的空心稿，给它勾勒在那个明黄鹅黄的拱缎上面。
Only those with 10 or more years' experience are allowed to work on the project. Gu Wenxia chooses more than 30 skilled embroiderers to start work immediately. They must finish 23 pieces of fine silk embroidery within 1 year. These newly embroidered fabrics will be used for the cushions on the emperor's throne inside the lodge. Yuan Hengxi's work hasn't finished yet. She still has to visit an embroidery workshop in Suzhou that specializes in double-sided embroidery.
哎，你好，你好，你好，哎。
是一笔一对出来，然后再把它用毛笔勾好，再着样，再印上去，印到面料上，对，再画到面料上，所以那个工序也蛮烦的。
嗯，比上次呢，就是又改进了一下。上次就是这个线用的细，有点薄，这次呢，就是它就又把这个线重叠的多一些，立体感出来了，非常好。
Chen Yinhua's research has allowed her to recover many of the techniques behind the Qianlong double-sided embroidery. As she passes her discoveries onto the team, the results begin to show. For the girls used to freestyle stitching, the project is a demanding test of their skills. All of their stitching must be perfectly neat and even. One small mistake, and they will have to start all over again.
颜色还有那个格局都挺协调的，给我感觉就挺漂亮。我觉得很自豪，能参与进去，就是这种物质文化遗产嘛。
Chen Yinhua has successfully recreated a 260-year-old double-sided embroidery. The team then receives another piece of good news from the lodge itself. 10 pieces of original double-sided embroidery have been discovered in the East Wing. They are in quite good condition. The China Silk Museum treats the antique silk to protect and strengthen it. It's now 2007, and the workshop in Nanjing is still looking for a way to produce golden velvet embroidery. Despite the difficulties, the team is optimistic they will find something in one of the many historical texts that they patiently search through. Dai Jian has spent 2 years designing a golden velvet loom. His creation is an extraordinary machine that can alter the density of the cloud brocade fabric by adjusting a series of weights. Dai's loom requires only a handful of people to operate it. It's the first step to replicating the fabled golden velvet embroidery.
那么当时他来的只是一张图片。 我们根据图片的分析呢，真正的妆花绒呢，它是比较有逆光效果的，它是这种形状，它是这种形状。那么跟营养比呢，就有差距。那么这一块来讲的话呢，就是色彩不好，就是它以营养的色彩呢，这个是发金黄色，那么就是颜色上面我们失败了。
The most difficult part of making golden velvet embroidery is creating the velvet effect. The horizontal threads have to be wrapped around vertical threads, spaced 3 millimeters apart. This needs to be done with total accuracy to form the 3-dimensional texture.
这个呢是一个各绒的一个专用的设备，它两头都可以用的。那么这
This
里有一根
specially
钢丝呢，
designed
它限
blade
制了
allows
这个
gorgeous patterns underneath the threads to be revealed.
机台上面两头是有一定张力把它绷紧的，然后呢，人呢通过手工用这个刀，用这个尖头对着这一个起绒的钢丝绒圈的部分，像中国传统的那个刻章一样的，要割的部位，然后用劲把它折一下，这就是相当于钢丝最表面那一层丝线中间划开来丝线就竖起来了。我们看到的像这个织物的表面，就是我们讲起绒，就是这个绒的部位，就是这个竖的绒。
所以这个试验呢，就是经过2年呢，所以一次一次的呢，这个工艺呢在往前进展吧，设计呢也跟着呢一块儿的有所进展，所以我们对他们的信心非常大。
After over 600 attempts, the Nanjing workshop finally produces a piece of golden velvet embroidery to rival that inside the Emperor's Lodge.
我们经过了多次试验，这个才逐步解决这些问题。
现在呢，可以告诉大家一个好消息，终于把云锦、宋锦和金和张绒融合在一起，复制成了金彩绒，这是非常难的一个事情。
Restoration restoration of the embroidery is being completed one by one. Gu Wenxia and her team are now working day and night to prepare their final shipment to Beijing. Meanwhile, a remarkable breakthrough is made with the murals. After a year of testing, the team finally manages to successfully reproduce the Qing Imperial mulberry backing paper. The murals are ready to be mounted again. TK returns to Beijing in 2008 when the restoration is nearly complete. The final hurdle is to get them safely back on the walls and ceilings of the lodge with pinpoint accuracy. The team has a test room specially prepared.
The purpose of the section that we've just been talking about can probably be better illustrated with this mock-up that was prepared by the Conservation Department, and it was constructed in obviously a reduced scale using very detailed scans of the painting sections after treatment. The remounting was the most difficult part of the paintings conservation project. The uncertainties that existed were largely, can we take these huge sections and in particular get the first ones up so that the other ones will fall correctly?
The team decide to arrange the murals on the ground in the correct order. The most important concern, accuracy.
We had a lot of discussions about the actual choreography of getting the paintings onto the ceiling.
The Chinese and American experts have quite different ideas on how the murals should be reattached. The Chinese experts suggested they should put them back in the same order they were removed, but TK thought the murals may have changed shape slightly as a result of the restoration. This could create a series of displacements during the reinstallation.
那你们把这个墙上的画拿下来的时候，这个边儿有吗？不是每个地方都有。有地方是就是有的多一点地方它就没有了，少一点。
After discussion, the team decide to experiment by starting from the middle panel and working out to the edges, comparing any disparities along the way. This approach requires a huge amount of patience. After several attempts, everyone agrees that starting from the center is the way forward. With the order of mounting settled, the restoration team are left with one last challenge. Inside their office, TK and his Chinese colleagues explore how they are going to mount the murals. Should they roll the murals back on or reattach them flat?
But I think we also have to anticipate some possible problems.
With all the preparations complete, the remounting can begin.
Didn't have that much room in which to maneuver, so we decided to do it by rolling them up and unrolling them using guidelines that we had. There were 12 ceiling sections. First one was a little hairy. You have a certain window of opportunity where the adhesive is active to accept the mural and to have that bond form. For such a huge project, there were no disasters.
The murals with their trompe-l'oeil scenery are returned to their original locations in perfect order. After 3 years of hard work, this unique giant mural is back in its place. its impact is as dazzling as it must have been 200 years ago. The painting imitates the scenery outside, transforming the hall into an indoor paradise. Peonies and cranes represent wealth and longevity. This crane is in the style of the emperor's beloved Giuseppe Castiglione.
回家查电脑去，可能是这个。对对，这是这个，对，没错。看就这是这个，这是这个，对。是什么样的？
In another room, team members are replacing the Qianlong embroidery. The craftsmen and women from southern China have proved themselves the equals of their 18th century predecessors. The new pieces of embroidery are extremely elegant. In the same room, there hangs the fabled golden velvet, its secrets unraveled after all this time. The level of detail in the work is astounding. Each element and every color used has a special meaning. Fabrics team leader Yuan Hengxi is thrilled by what she sees.
在这里边呢，整个的语义呢，又是吉祥，就是八吉祥，整个的语义就是吉祥图案。
The final challenge is about to begin as yet another group of conservationists arrive at the Forbidden City.
我第一次到军警城以后呢，我去了，我一看呢，好像是有点惊慌，好像是，哎呦，这边好像是240多年前，我说非常优美。
我头次看这么好的做工的东西啊，现在这种建筑上，真是没想到，而且现在有的也打了格栅啊，相当的宏伟，嵌那么多玉，真是我头次见，真是非常震撼的感觉。
They're about to face the final challenge of restoration. Were some of the most exquisite ornamental handicrafts in the world, but Emperor Qianlong's secret retreat in the Forbidden City has fallen into disrepair, with many of the crafts used lost to history. How are these buildings to be restored? Where are the rare and precious materials needed now to be found? How many secrets remain hidden in Qianlong's private residence?